Hello, welcome to the channel and welcome back to Resurwreck Autos HQ. So guys, it is Monday morning. I hope you had a great weekend. I did. I actually went away for the weekend and it was great until I got a phone call from a previous customer. And it's one of the red Fiestas that we sold a little while back. We actually done some engine work on that. It was an automatic, the red one. Don't know if you remember it, on a Fiesta. And yeah, basically, it looks like whatever I did has failed, and now the engine won't start. So, yeah. It is what it is. You just got to get on with it, and then just get stuck in. So I said to the customer, bring it back, drop it at the front of my unit, and I'll have a look at it first thing Monday morning. So that is what we're going to be doing today. I've got a real funny, suspicious feeling that we're just going to have to pull the engine out and then swap it for this one. That's why. This car just, again, is going to keep on giving when it comes to parts, because I think we can swap over the engines if it's that bad. I've got a funny, suspicious feeling that it is. For what she said to me, what happened, she pulled up somewhere and opened the bonnet, and then, because obviously she saw steam coming out, she opened the bonnet and it was just, there was just steam everywhere. So I'm assuming that something's leaked, something's happened, and it's just cooked the engine, overheated. That's just basically what I think has happened from what she's telling me. But we will do our own checks. We're going to do, just to see if it will start. Is it worth doing a compression test? I'm not sure at this point. But let's get the car in. I'll show you what we're dealing with. Got to get these two out of the way. These two cars, get them out of the way. Get the one in, and then we'll go from there. So let me do that, and I'll come back to you in a minute. Right, so guys, this is the one. The red Fiesta 2011 Auto that we've done a lot of work on this car, actually. We've done the top end, new head gasket, we've done the valves, all those kind of bits and pieces. But I don't think it was that's failed. I think it was something else that's happened. And it's just been driven with no water and it's been cooked, basically. I think that's what's happened. I can already just see a little indication as to where the coolant is actually leaking from. It looks like it's leaking just from the front, which will probably say that it could be the radiator hose or the actual radiator itself. Now, this car was absolutely spot on when it left the workshop. I made sure of that. It's all in the videos, and that's why, it's another reason why I do the videos, because it's proof of what I do. And if this ever happens, like, I sold this car to the customer and that it's now come back with an issue and a problem. But it's, as you can see, it's all been, the wing mirror has been smashed off. That might not have been their fault. Another car might have hit it or whatever, but, that weren't like it. That's obviously come back with some damage. She's done 4,500 miles in it. So that's a lot of miles to do. I've got to be honest, it's about 3 months that she's took this car, 3 months, and she's done 4,500 miles, and not had a problem. So it does seem like that it's just a thing that happens on, that could have happened on any car. You get a burst pipe, or the radiator splits, or something hits the radiator and damages it, and it's caused a leak. So, and unfortunately, some people, they will sort of understand, and they'll get it, and won't drive it and stop. and then there's other people that don't understand and will just drive it home. I've got a funny feeling this is what's happened, because yeah, it's not starting whatsoever. The coolant is low. I'll put some water in it just to see if I can just sort of chuck some water in it for now. But it does look like, yeah, that it's leaking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to do a little bit of investigating, find out where that leak's coming from. I've already tried to start it. It won't start. It just will, just ticking over. It sounds like there's no compression. That's what it really sounds like. What a shame. What an absolute shame this has happened. Yeah. So, but let me set you up. I'm trying to do a little bit of looking underneath, see if we can see what's going on, see if I can work out why it happened. And then all I can do really is report back to the customer, because technically this is not my, I don't want to say not my responsibility, but it's a strange one, isn't it? Because I do feel responsible for it because I sold the car. But if it's a part that's failed, or a part that's been damaged, or a part that's leaked, you know, not my fault, then yeah, we've got to come to an agreement, an arrangement. I don't mind doing the repairs. I don't mind swapping the engines out. You know, this is done. When I sold it to her, she's done about 76,000, and she's now done. Wait till it comes up. 81,500 miles. So really, we want to try and find a car an engine that's done 80-ish thousand miles. You know, the donor car is okay, but it's probably done a little bit more than 80,000. It's probably done more, close to sort of 120, 130. So, you know, do I want to be swapping that engine out and putting it in now? I don't really. Really, it's up to the customer, isn't it? Because it's their car. It's not really my car anymore. It's their car, and I've got to make they've got to make a decision of which way they want to do this. So I think he's going to come over and see me, and we'll have a chat about it, and we'll go from there. And I'll just show him, you know, what I found, and he can, you know, make a decision from there. But yeah, not really. It's not something. I've got a funny feeling something's happened on the front end. So let me set you up. I'll do a little bit of investigating. We'll have a quick look. We'll find out. We'll have a look, see what caused it, and then we'll go from there. So yeah, let's do this. Right, okay. So, guys, let me show you what I've found with this Fiesta. The owner, they're on their way, and we're going to have a chat about this and just work out, you know, between us what we're going to be able to do for her. And then we'll go from there. But, yeah, you can clearly see that there's coolant there. So I'm just trying to work out, obviously, you know, where it's coming from in relation to that little puddle there. I'm checking the radiator here, and it looks dry to me. I don't think it's coming from the radiator. The only place, it looks really clean and dry up there. I just don't see nothing really that could cause it. And then I started to sort of just to sort of feel these pipes, feel these clamps and these brackets and these things. And then I put my hand up onto this one here, this pipe. And yeah, there's coolant coming from that pipe. So it looks like there's a split in this pipe that goes up. It goes to the thermostat and then comes down here to the bottom of the radiator here. So it's the only thing that I can sort of feel or see is it's not a lot. It's literally like a little split, and it's got a little drip, and it keeps, you know, I'll dry it off, and then it don't come out again. And then you squeeze it, and it's in it. So it seems like it's just starting to have a little split on the pipe on the hose, and eventually it'll get worse and worse and worse. But it looks like it's been obviously, yeah, it's coming from there, because there's nothing else there. It's completely, you know, nice and dry. There's nothing. I can't see nothing. So it's the only thing it can be coming from is that split on that. It's not. I call it a split, but it's not. It's like a little pinhole. Yeah, it's more of a pinhole than a split. But it's there. It's there. So what happens is, once the engine is running, you get like pressure in the system, and that's obviously, you know, when it's built up, when it's hot, the coolant's hot, the engine's hot, it's warmed up. It puts pressure on the pipes, and it's obviously just squirting out of that pipe, that hose pipe there runs to the rad. So it's all I can find. There's nothing else. There's nothing else in here. There's nothing else that indicates that there's a leak in this. So yeah, that's it. That's obviously what's happened. Is when they've been driving it, it's been squirting out until it's completely emptied the tank and overheated. So yeah, I'm not sure what we're going to do about this one. So I'm going to wait for the customer to turn up, because it's their car, it's their decision. And then once we've come up with an idea, a plan, or whatever they want to do, because they might just want to just throw it through the insurance. We see it all the time through Copart, don't we? These sort of cars, they just have a water leak and they cook the engine, and then they just put them through Copart, just throw it through the insurance. So I don't know which way they want to do it, but when they turn up, I'll let you know what is going on. So bear with me for now, and I'll see you in a bit. Right, okay. So I've had the customer, whose car it is, come out. We've had a chat, and they're going to weigh up their options for the moment. He said, don't worry about sort of taking it apart. Just leave it as it is. I want to put it out the front for a while, and then they're going to sort of make a decision of which way they want to do this. There's a couple of ways that they could do it. We could go down the route of taking the top end off, see what damage it is, like head gasket, stuff like that, or just swap out the engine completely, or chuck it through the insurance. You know, there is a few options for them, but they're just going to weigh up their options and see what they want to do, which way. So for now, yeah, we're going to leave this one as it is. I've got another customer's car coming in, a Ford Cougar with a serious oil leak. So let's get this one. I'll push this out of the way. Let's get the Cougar inside. I'll explain what's going on with that one. But for now, let's get this out of the way. So let's do this. Right, okay. So guys, another customer's car. And basically, we've got quite a serious oil leak, and it's there. I'll take it up in the air so I can show you a bit more underneath, but it looks like it's coming from the drive shaft oil seal, and it is just everywhere underneath. We'll have a look at that in a second, but yeah, not too bad of a job, but you've got to take the wheel off, drop the suspension part of it, lower control arm, bits and pieces, pull the drive shaft out, pull the old oil seal out of the way, and then put the new one in. So I've got the parts being delivered, so I have to wait for them. But in the meantime, we can start stripping this down, getting this ready to fit the new one on. There's a lot of cleaning underneath there as well. The worrying bit really for me and for the owner, There is metal shavings everywhere in these oil droplets. And I mean, there is a lot. That's just on the cardboard. You might just look underneath, see what's happening underneath. It's just everywhere underneath there. So the worrying bit about this, guys, is that whether or not this is going to work, or because he told me, this is the thing that he told me that he noticed it was dripping oil, and he continued to drive it for another week before he's bought it to me, or to anyone, not just me, anyone, any garage, any person to have a look at it, and yeah, so it goes into gear still, all the gears, because I've tested that. It still goes into gear, but it crunches a little bit. Unbelievable, isn't it? So I said to him, look, let's try this. If this doesn't work, then it's going to need another gearbox. But let's just see if we can get it working. This is the cheapest way of doing it, is to change that oil seal, change the gearbox oil, and see really how far those gears have been worn away. It's the gears inside, the actual cogs and the gears inside the gearbox that's worn away on the teeth and on the bits and pieces. It's just, who knows what is going on inside. But yeah, that's what we've got to do, guys. So I'll set you up. Let's get cracking. Let's start stripping this down, and I'll show you underneath and how bad this is, because I reckon it's got virtually no oil in that gearbox. So let's do this. Okay, right, let me show you, and obviously the customer, because they watched the videos as well. But yeah, you can see that is an absolute mess underneath there. It is 100% coming from that drive shaft seal there. Of course, a bit bright, that one, isn't it? Coming from that drive shaft seal there, it's just spinning out, and then it's just flicking absolutely everywhere. So it just needs good clean up as well. So we'll do that. So yeah, not too bad of a job. It's a little bit tricky because obviously, I need to get a sort of a flat bar or sort of socket in there to sort of tap it in. So it's a little bit tricky. I might actually move this out of the way, because the wheel arch gives you a little bit more space. If I just undo these ones here and then take it over to that side, it'll just give me a bit more space to tap and remove the drive shaft in place. I'm going to drop the gearbox oil and see how much is actually in this gearbox. I think they're there. So there's a little nut there at the bottom. That one there is to drain it. I think that one there is to fill it. But I've just got to double check that is the case. It looks like it is, because it's that one, that fill point there looks like it's halfway on the drive shaft itself there. So I think that's what they're for. But I've got to check to make sure there's not any other ones. Normally there's one at the bottom, but it does look like that is correct. Yeah, I reckon that is the right way. So those two there are our drop out, and look, it's everywhere, look. You can tell it's gone just absolutely everywhere. Look at all that. Look at the clean side, and then that's the oily, dirty side. But he's been driving around like this for the last week or so, he says. I'm just hope that we can save this gearbox and it's not going to cause any problems. Because we are getting some oil up here as well, that point there. But that could be a separate issue, that up there. That might just be a, yeah, look, see, that might just be the sump gasket that's leaking around that, and then coming onto that bit there. So this is, and a minute, this is more important, is to try and save this gearbox for the customer, and we'll go from there. Right, let's carry on, set you up. Let's do this. Right, okay, guys, let me show you what is going on. So I've pulled the drive shaft, so that's out. Pulled the old seal out there. Wasn't too bad. That wasn't, it didn't sort of take much to pull out, I've got to be honest. I don't know why, but it didn't. But let me show you. So we've got a new one here. But let me show you what I found, because this could be catastrophic for the actual gearbox. Can you see these little pieces here? They were just sitting there like that. Look at these chunks. They're like chunks of metal. I think they're the bearings that sit on the inside. So, yeah, this is not a good sign, I've got to be honest. They're not teeth or anything like that to do with the actual gearbox, get the gears themselves. These are little rollers that sit on the other side and that, and you can see like how just in pieces this is here. So, I've got a bad feeling about this. Real bad feeling. You can see, look at all the rollers at the bottom. Look, they're just not gonna. I think it's it just ain't gonna. It's just ain't gonna. It's not gonna spin right. That should be set. You know. This is not good, I don't think. All I can do, you know, I can't strip that gearbox down, because you just can't do it. And like, there's a bearing on the other side inside the gearbox. You just can't strip those down to get to it. If you can, that's a big job. That is a big job. So all I can do is I can have a go at putting these in. I really can, but I don't know what it's free. So I can have a go, but I really don't know. I just don't know if that's going to work, you know, because it's constantly spinning. You know, and these little things can flick back into the gearbox as well. You just don't know what's damage has been done on this already. But yeah, I really don't know what to say about this. This might not, in fact, it might not even seal up, because what could happen is that if I put this in and then the drive shaft goes through this, the bearing inside is supposed to keep it, the drive shaft central. And if the drive shaft's not central and it's flicking around like this and moving around, it's going to cause it to leak again. So he might have already done the damage on this. It might not have been, like I said to you, it might not have been potentially this oil seal that had, it might not have been this that actually gone. It might have been the actual inside the gearbox has gone, and it's made it worse by not having no oil around it. But like, have a look at this inside here as well. Like, look how shiny and silvery that is. Look how shiny and silvery. That's, you know, this ain't good. I'm going to speak to the customer and say, do you want me to try it? If you want me to try it, then I'll put it back together and I'll have a look. But it's, yeah, it's not really looking good at the minute for this gearbox. I'm going to tell him to have a look at the video tonight so he can actually see what I'm talking about. But yeah, you can see inside, and it's like a bearing that sits in there, and it looks like it's just failed. Look, it's falling to pieces in there. Yeah, I'll speak to the customer. We'll go from there, and you know, if he says, look, just try it, put it back together, or whatever. Is that? Hold on. My God. Look at that. Oh my God. Look, that's what's coming out. I just noticed it in that little drain off plug. That is all filings. Now, it's probably come from the bearing. It could be you know, a mixture of the metal from the bearing or metal from the cogs in there. I don't, who knows? I don't know, because you can't get in there. But that is bad. That is really, really bad. That's all metal. My God. Oh, there's so much in there. There's no way I'm getting to that. I can't get all that out. This is a magnetic screwdriver as well, so it's kind of helping to get it all out, but it looks like the damage has been done. That's what it looks like to me. Oh God, there's a lot of it as well. Like I said to you guys, he's been driving it around for the last week with this oil leak like this. So I've got to be honest, he was lucky to get the car to me. Oh, that is bad. Right, okay. All we can do is speak to the customer, give him the choice. What do you want to do? Do you want me to hold on to it and pull the gearbox down? Or do you want to carry on, put it all back together for now, and then we'll go from there? Because that is bad. At the minute, it's the cheapest option, isn't it? It's to put that drive shaft seal, oil seal back in place, put the drive shaft back in, and that ain't gonna last. Let's be honest, it ain't gonna last, and I'll be absolutely shocked if he wants me to just put it back together. God. All right. Well, it's his choice. Let's speak to him, because the other thing as well is that once you put the drive shaft in and the drive shaft moves up and down with the steering, and as it moves up and down, it's going to do is open it back up, and you're not going to get a good seal. I'm going to get a good seal straight away because there's no up and down movement, or it's not going round. But as soon as you put a little bit of, yeah, this ain't good. Okay, all right. Let me speak to him, and then we'll go from there. Right, okay, so guys, I've spoken to the owner, and he basically said, look, you've done this, got this far, put it all back together, let's see if it works. If it don't work, then we're going to have to go down the route of changing the actual gearbox itself. You know, that's going to be a stupid amount of money, I've got to be honest, but because if you change the gearbox, you might as well do the clutch, and I think these are dual mass flywheels on these Cougars. So, you know, you're looking at a new clutch, another gearbox. Can't be a new gearbox, it has to be a second-hand one with low mileage, as long as it's not damaged or anything like that. We can use that, and then just the labour to drop the gearbox out the way, separate it from the engine, do all that work. So there's a bit of labour charge in this, I've got to be honest, but you know, let's just see if that works. I just don't think it's gonna. I'm really sort of don't think it's gonna. I think it's got past the point of no return. The damage has been done. I think, yeah, I think it's shot, but I've got to be honest, if I was in his position and someone called me and said, look, what do you want to do about it? I probably would have said exactly the same thing. Put it all back together. Let's see if that works. If it don't, we'll go down that route. But for now, let's just see what happens. But it's just, yeah, anyone's guess if this is gonna do it. Because of the damage inside. The bearings that are inside, it's already been damaged. Yeah, that's it. What can I say? Let's get it all back together, and then give it back to the customer, and he can drive it, see what it's like, and then, yeah, if it starts to leak and he's noticing oil again, or it won't go into gear, or, you know what I mean, it just stops. I don't know what's going to happen, because it's just, I think it's damage is done, it's shot. So anyway, what can we do? We could put it all back together and hope for the best. And that's what I said to him. I really hope this works, because of the cost involved in this. But it's always that gamble. It's always that chance that it might. So let's get it all back together, get it on the ground, and then, yeah, see if it's okay. So let's do this. Right, okay. So guys, that is it. It's all back together. I really hope this works for the owner because it's going to be a very expensive job to replace. Not necessarily just the gearbox, but it's the dual mass flywheel, it's the clutch. You know, whilst you're doing that gearbox and you're swapping it out, you might as well do the clutch and the dual mass. So it's going to be, yeah, it's going to be a very expensive, unfortunate expense for them to sort of pay out. But, you know, it just, that's the whole part of, you know, used cars. They just go wrong, you know, unless you're going to buy a brand new one that potentially might not go wrong unless it's an electric car, because I'm getting so many people talk to me about electric cars breaking down and just failing, like literally on the motorway, just stop, no power, gone. Because the electric motors and electric thing connects to everything on the car. So, yeah, you know, it is what it is. I hope this works. Anyway, let's get this out the front. We'll wait for him to pick it up. We might see this again at some point. If we don't, I'll let you know how it goes. I'm sure he will let me know how it is once he gets it, driven it around it for a little while. So, yeah, let's get this one out of the way. I think, just to use up the rest of the day, let's go and get the other new project, the one we've got into, the Cat S with the side damage, the Fiesta, the silver one. Let's go and get that. Let's get it in and then start stripping all the inside out and have a look at, see what's going on that one. Just do whatever we can just to use up the day, basically. So, yeah, bear with me, guys, and I'll see you in a bit. Right, well, guys, you know me, just getting stuck into this one again. Removed the seat with the airbag gone. They was hiding this. Naughty. Well, they weren't really hiding it, but they didn't show it, which is kind of hiding it, I suppose. Anyway, got a seat over there. So that's the one we're going to use for this car. So I've just started taking off and replacing, you know, getting all of the plastics out, just chucking everything in the boot, chucking stuff up here as well. So that's the shelf for this car, and then just keep loading it up so I know what goes where. But I just want to quickly show you what I found. So I'm just removing all the plastics. All this has got to be removed. All this has got to be removed. Taking everything out so we can get to the dash, and so we can get to this, yeah, this repair work on this B-pillar. So the crash module, which is this, is stored. So it's got a crash data on it and it needs to be replaced. But, well, sorry, this one, because I've written on the other side that this is the good one that come from the donor car. And this is the one that I've just removed from there. Yeah. Now, the numbers on these two match exactly the same. So we're looking for these numbers here, which is the 8 V51, that number there, and this here. And on this one, the numbers match, and that matches. So these two are exactly the same modules. So all I've got to do, this is the bad one, this is the good one at the donor car. Put it in there, plug it all back together, clear the codes on the system, and that's it. It should be really as simple as that, because I've changed the actual module, which is clear. It's got no crash data stored on this. So yeah, that should just be a case of just swapping over bottom check. Again, the donor car have saved me money. That was like, if I sent that away or get someone to clear it, it's like 50 quid up to 100. So between 50 and 100 pound people were charging. So again, a good saving off the donor car. So yeah, let's continue. Let's just see how far we can get. Let's do this. Right, okay. Do you know what, guys? It's doing really, really well. Look at all these trims and panels and stereo and bits and pieces all just being removed. Done the wiring harness for this because this, we've got to try and match. You've got to try and match the harnesses when it comes to the electrical side of it. But I think when it comes to this side of it, I think it'll be all right. I've got to check the plugs to see if they're the same as the door over there. So this plug here, just got to make sure that it matches with our other one. If it does, then that don't need to be stripped down as much as the front one did. But yeah, I've removed the glass as well. Took out the glass on this one. Yeah, just started to remove the stereo, the centre bits, the trims, stuff like that. But so far, doing all right, I think. Loads stripped down. But we're going to carry on with this one tomorrow and see how far we get. Yeah, for now, that's it. That's the end of today's video. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow in the next one. Take care. See you soon.